Coming up on The Rocks, a look at the new CDC guidelines.
And updates on the 2 Zoom bombing events that took place last month.
And a review of Kickback Week. All this and more coming up on The Rocks. Welcome back to On the Rocks. I'm Mac Bell.
And I'm Madison Williams. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
On March 8th, the CDC announced their first set of guidelines for fully vaccinated people and how they can safely travel to visit others. The guidelines include visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks or staying 6 feet apart. Visit with unvaccinated people from one other household indoors without wearing masks or staying 6 feet apart if everyone in the other household is at low risk for severe disease. Refrain from quarantine and testing if they do not have symptoms of COVID-19 after contact with someone who has COVID-19. The CDC mentioned that a person is considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after receiving the last required dose of the vaccine. Although vaccinations are accelerating, the CDC estimates that just 9.2% of the U.S. population has been fully vaccinated with a COVID-19 vaccine that the FDA has authorized for emergency use.
This past Friday, the U.S. administered 100 million COVID-19 doses. 35 million people in the U.S. are fully vaccinated. Since President Joe Biden took office, vaccine distribution has accelerated, which has allowed the government to administer a record 2.92 million vaccines on Friday alone. Also on Friday, President Biden announced the administration's plan to secure an additional 100 million more doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
As of Monday, the COVID numbers here in Pennsylvania are as followed. The state reported 3,302 positive cases. In Butler County, 67 new cases were reported. Here at Slippery Rock University, 9 new cases were reported between March 9th and the 15th, all of those being students. Overseas, as of Monday, France, Spain, Germany, and Italy have all temporarily halted the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine due to blood clot concerns. The World Health Organization has backed the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine and has publicly said that there has been no connecting evidence between this vaccine and the reported blood clottings. In addition, the European Medicines Agency, which is the European Union's medicines regulator, has also claimed that the vaccine is not the cause of these reports. These countries have had previous reports of relatively slower COVID vaccine rollouts, and this temporary stop will make these rollouts even more delayed. While the UN Health Agency is reviewing the situation, they have told countries not to stop the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
As we are closing in on the end of the semester, seniors who are graduating are looking to get their cap and gown. However, after ordering their regalia, they are getting emails that they are back-ordered. We reached out to the SGA bookstore about this back order, and Joe Flynn, the SGA bookstore manager, said that we just received the graduation list last week and placed the order immediately. We will have all sizes back in stock around the beginning of April, which will be plenty of time for graduation. We will keep you updated on the regalia and when the bookstore gets in stock.
Last Wednesday, the House passed the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill aimed to send a third stimulus check to those in need. On Thursday, President Joe Biden passed the bill that would send the $1,400 out to those who are making less than $80,000 individually and $150,000 joint. As of Friday, some of those checks have already started to get sent out, but with this stimulus package, college students that are dependents are in luck. Dependent college students are now eligible to receive funds, as this is a change between the first 2 stimulus packages and this bill. It should be noted that the student will not directly receive those funds. Rather, they will be deposited directly to the parent and/or guardian who claims them on their taxes. Some additional benefits include individuals who file for unemployment will receive an extra $300 until September 6th, $120 billion to K through 12 schools, and $30 billion for restaurant aid.
Last month, the university saw 2 Black History Month events fall victim to 2 Zoom bombings. The university and police are still investigating and looking to catch those who made racial slurs, as well as show a graphic video. Terrence Mitchell, the special assistant to the president for diversity and inclusion, had this to say about the university's response to the first Zoom bombing.
The Zoom bomb helped us learn more of the community's expectations after something like that happens. It helped us learn to work faster through those events. You know, our team knew each other then. The first time we met, we didn't even know we knew each other professionally, but we didn't know each other as a team. We've actually met, I believe, twice since then, and every meeting hasn't been associated with an incident. We'll meet regularly, you know, and talk about ways to educate the community, talk about ways to get ourselves prepared for things that go on campus. So it's going to have regular meetings. It's going to be a regular standing committee, you know. But like I said, we hadn't had an opportunity to do that. We actually had an introductory. The reason why we were able to meet as fast as we had an introductory meeting set already, you know. So we just sped up that introductory meeting.
SRU Police Chief Kevin Sharkey says most of the search warrants have been executed and found the actors' IP addresses terminated overseas. Sharkey says getting information from servers overseas is very difficult. One search warrant for information possibly being held on servers owned by Zoom has not been returned.
Today marks the second week of jury selection in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Chauvin is currently being charged with murder and manslaughter due to his actions which resulted in the death of George Floyd. Over last week, the prosecution has been blocking many potential jurors who have seemed to be inclined to give police the benefit of the doubt or who have expressed misgivings regarding the Black Lives Matter movement. So far, the vast majority of those rejected potential jurors have had negative views of Chauvin. By the end of Friday last week, the defense had used 8 strikes, while the prosecution just used 5. So far, 7 jurors have been seated for this trial, which is halfway to the requirement. A minimum of 3 weeks has been set in place in order to hold jury selection as attorneys continue to pick individuals until they have a total of 14. We will be sure to keep you updated on this high-profile case as it continues.
After a quick commercial break, we'll have our SGA update and a review of Kickback Week. Stick around.
Do you remember when you were told to sit still?
Making the point.
Walk, don't run. Don't sit too close to the screen.
On me, Cam 3.
Don't touch that. Color inside the lines. At Slippery Rock, we inspire the motion, the music, and the moments of challenge that allow you to be your best, now and in the future. Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
It starts with a dream, and then something, someone, or someplace happens. That is the difference between those who dream and those who make it happen. An experience where you're pushed, challenged, knocked down, picked up, encouraged to do better and to be better.
Check out our studio!
Make your dreams happen at Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
Go Rock! Do you remember when you were told not to play with fire? You were told to be quiet. When they said caring wasn't in your generation's DNA. When they said stop playing with toys. Do you remember when they said stop dreaming? At Slippery Rock, we inspire the dreams, the noise, the caring to challenge you to be your best, now and in the future. Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
It starts with a dream, and then something, someone, or someplace happens. That is the difference between those who dream and those who make it happen. An experience where you are pushed, challenged, knocked down, picked up, encouraged to do better and to be better. Make your dreams happen at Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
Welcome back to On the Rocks. And our friends at The Rocket are hiring. The Rocket is SRU's award-winning student newspaper and is hiring for the upcoming school year. All staff positions are paid, and The Rocket is expecting a high need for news, sports, multimedia, advertising, and copy web applications. To apply, visit theonlinerocket.com and click Join Our Team, or email Hannah Shumsky at hms1015@sru.edu.
When students and faculty return in the fall, masks might still be required, but a lot more students are expected to be back in the classroom. SRU President William Barry announced last month that the university plans to have more than 80% of courses held in person. Barry said with decreasing case counts and wider availability of vaccines, students can expect a more traditional college experience. Along with more in-person classes, Barry says that the experience will most likely include more students in residence halls and more employees on campus. In-person and dining halls will resume, and study abroad programs as well. In preparation for the fall, the university has been updating its cleaning procedures and reconfiguring classrooms to keep students distanced but still together. SRU's fall semester is going to begin on August 23rd.
Now we're going to toss it over to Joe Wells with your SGA update.
Thanks, Mac. On Monday night, the SGA finalized and approved 2 amendments to the organization's bylaws. The changes will require members of the SGA to undergo yearly mental health training and attend 2 diversity events per semester. Parliamentarian Grant Warmbine pushed to have the requirements implemented in order to position SGA members to better serve the students at Slippery Rock. The requirements will take effect in the fall when the new Senate is sworn in. Part of the training senators will receive will include online mental health training by Cognito, a company that specializes in virtual training in the healthcare and education sectors. After passing the 2 new changes, 2 more amendments were brought to the floor that Warmbine said would clarify executive board and senator requirements. The changes will clean up the GPA requirements to make it clear that members must maintain their GPAs while in office. Executive board members are required to hold a 2.75 GPA, while senators must have a 2.5. The Senate also approved 2 funding requests for student media. WSRU-TV was approved for $120. That funding will be used for field production equipment, including cables and microphone windscreens. WSRU-FM was unanimously approved for $14,000, the remainder of their budget that was previously cut due to the pandemic. The radio station will use the money to cover fees and expenses for the remainder of the semester and to update the station's music library. Vice President of Finance Nate Deasing said budgets for student organizations should be fully funded for the next academic year. Deasing said over 120 budgets from various organizations and plans to have them completed by March 20th. The SGA is scheduled to vote on its $2.5 million budget March 29th. Applications for executive board positions close this Friday. Students wanting to run for one of the 6 positions must complete the application, which is available on CORE. According to the SGA advisor, Laura Moran, the number of applications has been significant, with every position having at least 1 candidate. Before elections open April 5th, the Rocket and WSRU-TV will host a candidate forum on March 30th. The SGA has also rescheduled its drive-in movie night. Due to severe wind last week that made the screen unstable, the event had to be canceled. The next drive-in movie night will be held on March 26th, with the movie and location to be announced in the coming days. And the SGA will host its next formal meeting on March 29th at 5 p.m. on Zoom. This has been your SGA update, and now back to the desk.
UPB Paint Night took place last Thursday, March 11th, in the Smith Student Center near the Quaker Steak on the 2nd floor. Participants were told to bring their own device to zoom in, watch, and paint. Students were also given the opportunity to pick up a paint kit during Common Hour, a generous gesture of the UPB for the students.
On March 10th, Boost Peer Coaching held an Among Us tournament over Zoom, and our very own Averi Kleinglen had the opportunity to interview some members of the Boost Peer Coaching team and asked why Among Us was chosen and how playing video games can create a more positive mindset.
I know that it was really popular in the fall, and so that was one of the things that we were thinking about in the fall coming into the spring, and it was still really popular coming into the spring. So I know that was one reason that we chose it. Does anyone else have any input into that?
Too.
I mean, another big thing is that it's a free game, and one of our big concerns was getting something that students could just kind of jump into that was pretty intuitive. So like if you never played before, you could, but most people at this point have seen a video or something. So it just made it relatively easy to say like, hey, download this free game and jump on and have some fun. And that just made it very straightforward. I think a big thing as well that like all of us see is that a lot of SRU students, like ourselves included, don't feel a sense of community or like you're meeting new people. Like one of my favorite things of being on campus was just like walking down towards like the suites at the back and just there being like crowds of people I'd never met before, and I just feel like, hi, how are you doing? Like I could introduce myself to people. But since we don't really have that anymore, we kind of are trying to recreate it on like a much smaller, less overwhelming scale.
As part of Kickback Week, Campus Rec hosted a zipline event last Tuesday. The event allowed students to try out ziplining here on campus.
Oh, it's so nice. It got me on campus and, you know, I got to have fun and meet new people. I love working the zip line, and Kickback Week is really cool. I like that the university is doing that for us, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
This is my first time ziplining, and I was really scared. Like, even like the build up of coming here, I was terrified, but it was actually super fun. I recommend 100%. It was so much fun. All of us came out and did it together, like a big group of friends. And the people here are so nice, and they make it so easy, and they make sure that you know you're safe.
For more Campus Rec events, check out their core page. After this commercial break, we'll have dates for SRU baseball and softball's doubleheaders this past weekend.
Do you remember when you were told to put away your toys? Don't climb on that. Don't write on the walls. Go easy on the makeup. Do you remember when you were told to mind your own business and wait your turn? At Slippery Rock, we inspire the heights, the color, the caring for each other to challenge you to be your best. Now and in the future, Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference. Told to sit still? Walk, don't run. Don't sit too close to the screen. Don't touch that. Color inside the lines. At Slippery Rock, we inspire the motion, the music, and the moments of challenge that allow you to be your best, now and in the future. Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
Slippery Rock University sports have returned at Jack Critchfield Park and on the road. The women's softball team played a series with rival school, Indiana, PA, who took away the series with 3 wins and just 1 loss. The Crimson Hawks dominated, but the Rock fought back to win an intense 8-inning game with a final score of 7-5. After picking up their first win, Slippery Rock softball took on their next competitor, the Seton Hill Griffins. The outcome was the same, with more losses than wins, but they're continuing to remain positive, as they're glad to even be able to play right now. However, the baseball team is on fire, with a current winning streak of 6 games in a row. The team is now standing at 6-1, an impressive and exciting start to their 2021 PSAC season, after not swinging a bat for nearly a year. We'll continue to update you as more doubleheaders are being played.
The Pittsburgh Penguins have now played 27 games within the Eastern Conference 2021 season. Of those 27 games, 17 have been tallied into the win column and 9 have been losses, with 1 additional overtime loss. Combined as a team, they put up 35 goals. Captain Sidney Crosby had to sit out for a few games as he recently tested positive for COVID-19. However, now he's back in action, and the Penguins' next opponent will be the Bruins for a 2-game series and then the Devils for a 3-game series.
In other news, Drew Brees has announced his retirement from the NFL. After 20 years of playing football, he has decided to step away to join NBC Sports as a sportscaster. He ended his career as a New Orleans Saint. The well-known quarterback will without a doubt go down in history as one of the best. Brees' career includes passing records, all-time marks for pass completions, passing yards, and passing touchdowns. He also led the Saints to their first Super Bowl in 2010 and numerous other appearances in the playoffs. Between that announcement and it being free agency week, everyone is on edge. Juju Smith-Schuster of the Steelers made a statement on his social media accounts about his personal views this week. Smith-Schuster said in his post, "No matter what happens this week in free agency, if I'm back or if I'm somewhere else, just know that I will never see Pittsburgh as just 4 years of my life, but a part of who I am. I'll always carry that blue-collar spirit for the rest of my life. I love you, Pittsburgh." This caption was accompanied by many sentimental photos throughout his journey thus far in Pittsburgh. We'll keep you updated as we get more sports information throughout this free agency week.
Spring training and gameplay is underway for the major leagues. Within most organizations, a small number of fans have been allowed into stadiums to watch the games live and in person. YouTube is teaming up to broadcast 21 games as part of a 3rd season with the MLB in order for those who are remote to still watch. With the official opening day approaching, there is not much to share. However, the Dodgers' own Trevor Bauer received a warning for a small uniform violation. In addition to this, the New York Mets shortstop Luis Guillorme earned a walk after a 22-pitch at bat. And that's about it for the news within the MLB, but be sure to check back for more updates. And did you happen to check out the Grammys? If not, after this commercial break, we'll have more on that, as well as Oprah Winfrey's interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Stick tight.
It starts with a dream, and then something, someone, or someplace happens. That is the difference between those who dream and those who make it happen. An experience where you're pushed, challenged, knocked down, picked up, encouraged to do better and to be better.
Check out our studio!
Make your dreams happen at Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
Go Rock! Do you remember when you were told not to play with fire? You were told to be quiet. When they said caring wasn't in your generation's DNA. When they said stop playing with toys. Do you remember when they said stop dreaming? At Slippery Rock, we inspire the dreams, the noise, the caring to challenge you to be your best. Now and in the future, Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
It starts with a dream, and then something, someone, or someplace happens. That is the difference between those who dream and those who make it happen. An experience where you are pushed, challenged, knocked down, picked up, encouraged to do better and to be better. Make your dreams happen at Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
Do you remember when you were told to put away your toys? Don't climb on that. Don't write on the walls. Go easy on the makeup. Do you remember when you were told to mind your own business and wait your turn? At Slippery Rock, we inspire the heights, the color, the caring for each other to challenge you to be your best. Now and in the future, Slippery Rock University. Experience the difference.
Welcome back. On March 7th, Oprah Winfrey sat down with Meghan and Harry and discussed their experiences leading up to their step down from the royal family. During the interview, Meghan and Harry discussed mental health, security, and racial issues regarding their son Archie. During their time, Meghan and Harry found out that the thousands of people working to keep the royal family's reputation strong were not protecting their image or their safety as they had promised. Over time, Meghan was limited in what she could do and was not able to leave the house for months at a time. This led to a rapid decline in her mental health, prompting dark thoughts. Hours before this photo was taken, Meghan had a conversation with Harry talking about her struggles with her mental health. Meghan stated that this photo haunts her because if you zoom in on their hands, you can see how tight Harry is holding Meghan's hand because they're trying to hold on. When trying to ask for help from the institution, they were denied due to image and security reasons. Before Meghan and Harry's son, Archie, was born, there was a conversation between Harry and an unnamed family member about the potential skin color of their child. During the later months of the pregnancy, it was communicated to Meghan through Harry that their children would not receive the title of prince or princess, nor would they receive protection through the royal family. Meghan and Harry believe that this has to do with the potential skin color of Archie and their future children, but this is not confirmed. Both Meghan and Harry said that they have no ill intentions regarding the interview with Oprah towards the royal family. They just wanted to bring the truth to light.
The 63rd annual Grammys happened this past weekend, with the host being comedian Trevor Noah. Jacob Collier is a British artist who is only 26 years old, with his 5th win at the Grammys already. And he's making history being the first British artist who has won a Grammy for each of his first 4 albums. The Beatles haven't even matched this achievement in the Grammy Awards history. On a different note, the Grammys hit a record low for TV ratings this year, with a whopping 53% decrease compared to the 2020 show. However, this year's telecast was the most streamed Grammy show ever, with 83% more live streams compared to 2020. And that's going to be all the news we have for you today, but stay blessed, stay safe, and have a good night.